E 9.3. On March 1st of 2020, Rollinger Group acquired real estate on which it planned to construct a small office building. The company paid 86,000 euros in cash. An old warehouse on the property was razed at a cost of 9,400 euros. The salvaged materials were sold for 1,700 euros. Additional expenditures before construction began included 1,100 euros attorney's fee for work concerning the land purchase, 5,100 euros real estate broker's fee, 7,800 architect's fee, and 12,700 to put in driveways and a parking lot. Determine the amount to be reported as the cost of the land. Okay, here we have a lot of different numbers, so let's just highlight all of them and see which ones we have to consider or not. The first one is that the company paid 86,000 in cash. Well, this is the cost of the land, right? So this one is definitely a must because this is the original cost that we are going to pay in order to acquire this land. Okay, next one we have there was an old warehouse that was at the real estate place, and it was raised at a cost of 9,400. Okay, well, and we also had over here some salvage materials. Let me switch the color. Some salvage materials that were sold for 1,700. Well, we definitely have to add these, but what we need is the net removal cost. So this is basically a formula that you have the original raising cost of the warehouse or whatever construction that was there before minus the salvage materials. Okay, and if you think about it, this formula actually makes sense because we have the original raising costs that we have to pay in order to take this warehouse down, and we're subtracting the salvage materials because that means that after taking this warehouse down, there were some materials that we could actually still use, that we could still save, and this is why we're subtracting them from the raising cost. In our case, it was raised at 9,400, so this is our raising cost. And we were able to save some of these materials. We were able to save 1,700. That is 7,700 for our net removal cost. Okay, what else do we have over here? Some additional expenditures. We have 1,100 attorney's fee, and we also had some 5,100 real estate broker's fee. Well, both of these two, if you guys check your handout, you're gonna see that every time you buy land, it's a must to consider the attorney's fee and the real estate broker's fee, because without these two, you really cannot acquire the land. So both of these we definitely have to add as well. So over here, let's just write them down. For the attorney's fee, that was 1,100, and for the real estate, that was 5,100. Okay. Next, what else do we have? We have 7,800 architects free, and we also have 12,700 to put in driveways and parking lot. Well, architect's fee, if you check your handout, that doesn't say anything about architect's fee. And the reason for that is that normally when you work with an architect, you don't pay him right away. You just pay him whenever your project gets done. And since at the time that we are considering these numbers is like right at the beginning when we want to buy the land, we want to see the total cost of the land, right? Like the total cost right now. So we wouldn't pay the architect right now. So that's why we are not going to add the architect fee. And for the 12,700 to put driveways in a parking lot, well, both of these, they're land improvements, right? So we do not have to add them either. So our total cost of the land would be the sum of all these previous numbers. So let's see how much that is. That is 99,900 euros. That is your total cost of the land. Let's see what B says. For each cost not used in part A in the account to be debited. Okay, so he wants to know the accounts that should be debited, right? Well, if you just take a look at the cost of the land, then you would definitely debit land, right? And maybe credit cash. But for the ones that you did include, like for example over here, the driveways in the parking lot, as I said, these are land improvements. So the account that you would debit would be land improvements.